Well, welcome back for the final quarter of the 1997 qualifying final in the GDFL. It's Werribee Centrals and Thompson, and the Tigers hold a 4-goal lead at the final change. Stewie's got listened to Mick Foster at three-quarter time. Stewie, what did Mick have to say?
Yeah, Mick was very critical of their lack of endeavour in the last 5 minutes of that quarter after setting up an opportunity midway through. He thought all the hard work and all the hard running they did was undone through 5 minutes of undisciplined football. Didn't stick to the team plan and work hard at it. He's just asked now to move the ball as quick as they can, try and get Heath Buck and Matheson in a one-on-one contest with their opponents, and he believes they can kick a winning score if they do that.
Well, Matheson was in a one-on-one contest there, couldn't quite get the ball though. He's got a bit of support. Harris now has got it for Thompson in the forward line for Werribee. Smith, quick kick away under pressure's okay, and finds Christian Highland on half-back flank on the outer side. I'll listen to Alan Richardson, who has said that Timmy Gardner will lead the side here. 30 hard minutes of footy. This is what footy's all about. 30 hard minutes into the wind, and he doesn't want to go the hard road again. He wants to go the easy way and play in the second semi-final against Bannockburn next week. So he's given the guys a task, Timmy Gardner, to lead them. He's got it there, but has unfortunately given it away to Burton, who gets it to Edgar at centre-half forward. He's clear. He runs now. Poor kick off the boot. Humphrey in front. Oh, can't take the mark, though. And got a bit of support. Andrew Atchison has got it. The rubber man close to the boundary line now. He'll want to see it over. Oh, he keeps it in fantastically. Gets away from a couple and keeps running at half-back. Gets it towards the wing. Looking for Timmy Gardner. Good mark, the Whitley medalist.
And the dasher. Timmy Gardner breaks clear at centre wing. Long bomb to half forward. Oh, hell with that. The football. It's got to be against you, young fella, Glenn Height.
Stick down the other way, Ron. It's going too high.
Gag and Christian McFarlane's kick from here. Anyway, Height kicks the ball back into the centre. Mark should be paid at Bradley. No, said the umpire. Bradley's hand pass to Gardner was okay.
Oh, that's a big
right. He handballed the ball away from here.
Jeez.
Let it go, umpire.
Neil. Oh, dearie me.
Trying to have a bit too much influence, I think, boys.
He had 2 seconds to get rid of that, not 5. Gee whiz. Timmy,
what's too much prior opportunity?
Robbie Edgar now gets the free kick at the centre half back. Goes to outer side half forward flank. Christian Highland on hands and knees. Cop one a bit high and will get the free kick outer side. Half back flank for the Thompson tie.
Highland now. Short little kick to the wing looking for, Terry Nankervis, a limping Terry Nankervis, but he's still there. He kicks off one step, goes wide, looking for Harris, who's come down the ground, chopped off by David Matheson, who followed him down. Edgar can't keep it in, just on the attacking side of centre wing for the Tommy Tigers. So they certainly, Werribee needs a first goal. If Thompson can bottle it up for the first 7 or 8 minutes, it's going to make it extremely interesting. They're 4 goals up, Thompson, so they've given themselves a chance. That kick in the pack, out of bounds on the full, and it will be a free kick to Werribee to be taken by Dwayne Burton. And the wind is still pretty strong to the right of our guest video screens, to the Breakwater Road end of St Albans Reserve. Burton's got it now. Kick in the lead from Vilchins. Smith, good punch away. Rove, Timmy Gardner has had a mountain of possession already in this final term. Kick around the corner, tremendous backwool. Can't take the mark, good recovery though, good second effort. Coming at pace, Christian McFarlane. And a free kick for a kicking in danger there against McFarlane. And it's going to go to Adrian Bernardo at half back. Inboard, looking for Stewart. The big man takes it, and it's the big and the small there. Andrew Gardner standing the mark. 5'2", Stewart, 6'4". Stewart now at centre half back. Edgar gives him the lead. He goes in that direction. Matheson as well, and Harris backs himself in front. Roved, Carl Smith off the pack. Handball. It's going to be to Luddick. He's on his right foot. He gives it to Edgar, who runs inside 50. Kick around the corner. Buck, Atchison, and Menzies there also. Sears back on the ground. Can't keep it in, and it's out of bounds right next to the behind post. With the Centurions attacking.
Uninterested Heath Buck on that occasion, who was worn very closely by the rubber man in Andy Atchison, and clearly beat him on that occasion.
It's an interesting move, Atchison on Buck. It'll be interesting. I think what that probably does, though, does release one of the bigger men from Werribee Centrals. I think if I was a big man or any man on the ground, I wouldn't like the rubber man playing on me. He's very hard the ball.
Well, Buck has got that from the ruck contest. Vilchins tapped, in fact it was Evans who tapped it straight to him. Heath Buck has put it on the boot. Soccer style through for another goal, his 5th. And the early goal that Werribee wanted, they've got 8-1. In fact, it's 9-1. Fantastic kicking, 55. Thompson 11-7, 73 on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes in the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard.
I'll tell you what, it's interesting if I cast my mind back to the game they played earlier on in the year where I think Thompson got home by a point. I think Ronnie might have made a statement at that stage that if Buck kicked 6, Werribee will win, and I think he kicked 5.
Correct.
He's on 5. It'll be interesting to see if he kicks
Very
6 today.
interesting. Well, 5 minutes gone to the final stanza, and margin back to 18 points. Thompson to attack, but here come the Centurions again. Dwayne Burton, long bomb. Christian Smith in front, gets to ground level. Candalo pick it up, he's under pressure. Loose ball, he got it to Sears. Sears, though, forced to go on the left foot, and he's kicked it high, wide, and handsome. It's over the line and out of bounds. And Andy Rubberman Atchison gets the free kick out of side back pocket.
Kick in by Atchison towards 50. Oh, marked over the back. Terry Nankervis, fourth in line, fell into his arms, took the mark, and he'll kick from half back, looking for a lead, trying to keep it to the outer side. Not much on offer at the moment. Back will give him a short lead. He goes in towards Withers, punched away Barry Delaney. At the bottom of the pack, has got it now, is Justin Morley at 50. The half-back flanker goes towards Buck and Atchison again. Buck left it. He was going to mark, then decided to leave it, and it's through for one behind to the vice-captain of the Centurions.
He's very damaged in those one-on-one contests, Buck. He just uses the body at the right time and draws his player under the ball and takes the mark from behind.
9-2-56 Werribee, Thompson 11-7-73. Beaumont's Pies and Cakes in the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. Dale Menzies to kick in, looking to go to the outer side. He's got a lead from Evans. He goes in that direction. Stewart against him. In front, though, Nankervis, and a very good overhead mark for a wingman, Terry Nankervis. We've seen him take some spectacular marks on that occasion. Just a safe hands at the front of the pack. Goes towards the wing now, looking for Timmy Gardner over the back. Aaron Bradley, good mark. And has certainly shown a bit this afternoon, the youngster. And at half-back, Aaron Bradley. McFarlane gives him a long lead. He elects to go wide and chopped off Dwayne Burton. Back will come at it, and it's close to the boundary line. Out of bounds now on centre wing on the outer side. So it's 17 points the difference. And on centre wing, Stewart and Evans. Poor throw in. Evans, big thump away. Getting back there, Warwick, and also Backwell. Warwick got one high, no free kick. Gardner runs away, but then he gets ripped up. He's dropped the footy. Oh, well, he's been paid for holding the man, and it's play on. Gardner wanted to play on quickly, got wrapped up. Quick kick away by Werribee. Up towards Nankervis again, and Morley. Nankervis, handball, over the top to Highland. Oh, a little bit slow there, slung off the footy, no free kick. Gets away from a couple, and then one more, handball. Oh, didn't come straight at the Thompson player, though, who was there. Oh, good pick up, Withers. Got up from hands and knees and got the kick away. Gardner gives it to Wolfenden. He goes long towards JJ, who's on the ground. Justin, oh, play on the call. Bradley wrapped up by Smith. McFarlane back there also. Height kicks it away. It's a foot race now between Height and also the Echo, Justin. Height wants the safety of the boundary line. Does he get it? He tries to tap it on. Gardner's there. That's Andrew coming across Heath Buck also. And it's a free kick now for a push. And it's against Gareth Buck. And in front of the scoreboard here at St Albans, it's going to be a free kick to Thompson.
Yeah, silly play there, Gareth Buck, because the ball was going out of bounds and he's in front.
It might be Glenn Height there, boys. I think
Glenn Height,
it is. On Gareth Buck.
I was going to say, he's up the ground, isn't he?
Certainly was.
Okay, well, Justin gets the kick. And
kick.
He's obviously colourblind. He's kicked a beautiful pass straight to the throat of the back pocket player.
Oh,
Head vice captain Justin Morley.
Oh.
He's gone straight across the ground. There's
Very
been a
lucky.
whistle on play. Advantage now for the Werribee side. Good work, Robbie Edgar. Hand past the run of Carl Smith. Penetrating, drop punt to half forward. Over the back, though, is Ricky Humphrey. Loose ball now. Kicks it out wide members side. Mickey Gann gives it back to Rick Humphrey, who's fired on it. He runs his full term, left foot kick. And I think you'll find he's, I can't repeat what he just said, but he kicked it over the line.
I think he said frog.
He said he was a very, very brainy farm animal, I think is what he said.
Well, Andy Hawkes now drives the Centurions into attack. Kicks it to centre half forward, looking for Matheson. Butters up well as the big fella. Gets the hand pass out to the stripper. Can he pick it up? Good pressure there, Wolfenden. And I think you'll find it up by Santos Bruno will bounce down. 49.5 metres out from the Werribee goal.
Well, Werribee Central's, Thompson's loose man, as Rick Humphrey has picked every good contest to go to in this last term. He's following the lead of Vilchins because they're going to go to him most of the time. He folded on that occasion and did very well. He's right back in the last line of defence now as umpire Santa Spirito will bounce the ball, will throw the ball up just outside 50. Vilchins taps it. Burke stands and turns, kicks it towards Withers, who can't take the mark. Bit of support and doesn't need it because he's taken a bounce himself. Or Bernardo came across. Did he hold on too long? Yes, he did. And Shane Withers will
It's not a bad result, that. Not a bad result at all. I think that the Bernardo, geez, he closed that gap up I think Withers thought he had a paddock in front of him, and Bernardo's worked hard and closed it up, and it's given Werby another chance.
Goes towards Highland now from that kick by Withers. Handball inboard to Andrew Gardner. He goes long, and it's a good kick. McFarlane over the top height. Got a hand to it. Morley. Can he pick it up? Nankervis did well. Oh, then he got a trip. Oh, it's play on. Oh.
I can't repeat what our technician director.
Well, I'll tell you, Wayne Carey got reported for that last week. Because I think he stuck his leg out. But
mandatory.
No free kick, and it's getting a bit willing, as you would expect in the final term. Andy Hawkes, handball over the top to Barry Delaney. He's got Edgar on the wing if he wants him. He goes in that direction now, and he sits and waits, takes the mark in front of Aaron Bradley. He got around, classy play. Robbie Edgar plays on now. Goes long towards Matheson, used the body beautifully. Did he take the mark? Well, no. He didn't really, but umpire Santa Spirito was on the wrong side. He used the grass beautifully there. He goes long towards Luddick, slips over as he goes. Heath Buck against Atchison. It's over the back of the pack. Ricky Humphrey again, butters up for the Tigers and breaks away.
Hit the dash of Humphrey B. Bear. It's exciting stuff here at St Albans. He goes inboard to Nankervis. That was good play. Nankervis now goes into the centre of the ground. Timmy Gardner, the medalist, and successive years. Good bump there from Bernardo. Unsettled him. Luddick gave it to Edgar. Edgar pumps it to the goal square. Back at the back. Oh, it's a run. Who wants it? Vilsons. He copped one high.
It's a goal.
It doesn't matter. He's popped it through. Great goal, Brendan Vilsons.
I think umpire Santa Spirito asked Brent whether he wanted the kick again or not.
Just they couldn't understand the play from Thompson over on the other side of the ground. They were out wide. Humphrey had it, and he's come back into around about centre half back to Timmy Gardner and put so much pressure on Timmy, and they've lost the ball and they've scored a goal over it. So very critical period there.
It was a good bump by Adrian Bernardo, 2 off Gardner. Luddick was in support, and it's ended up with a goal to Vilchens.
Yeah, great goal, and brings the margin back to 11 points. Time check shows 12.5 minutes gone to the final quarter. Bannockburn Sporting Trophy is big as that. Bannockburn, no it's not, it's the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes, the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. Thompson 11-7-73, Werribee Central's 10-2, 62.
Barry Delaney in the middle for Werribee Centrals with Robbie Edgar, Sean Stewart, and also it looks like it might be Smith in the middle. Evans goes up early, gets it towards Timmy Gardner. Stewart, handball to Barry Delaney's good. He goes long with the left boot towards Vilchens again. Oh, in front, Darlow.
Look, I'd tell you something, Stu. You watch Evans now in the middle of the ground. He is not even on one leg. Now, all right, he's contesting the ruck, but once the ball has gone up in the air, he's out of the game.
Yeah.
He can't recover. He can't do anything.
I mean, you don't like to draw your best backman away from his position, but I think now at the period, I mean, Werribee got a bit of a run on. I think they need to bring Atchison into the centre of the ground and try and get first use of it.
Look,
what's wrong with Christian Smith, who won the grand final from last year?
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ronnie, it can be any one of those guys. It doesn't
fellas,
really
Darlow's
matter.
just popped it through from 50.
They should just belt Evans out of the game, put him up to full forward if they want a big man up there, and just let him sit out of the game.
Well, it's 11 goals, 2-68 Werribee. Thompson 11-7-73, margin back to 5 points on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes and the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. 13.5 minutes gone in the final term, and Craig Darlow has kicked his first goal. Evans to do the ruck work again against Stewart. He's got Timmy Gardner, Andrew Gardner and Christian Highland in the middle with him. Scripter Edgar and Delaney in the middle with Sean Stewart, who goes up. He knows that Evans is injured, so he's trying to go up a little bit early. Morley has got the ball now. Handball to Edgar. He services Hawks. He's in the middle. He goes wide towards Luddick and Gann. Luddick, good play. He did very well there. He knew where the footy was going. He plays on quickly. He goes long with the left boot. 2-on-2. Buck and Vilchens. It's over the heads. And it's run through for one behind to Luke Luddick. Just anticipated a little bit better with that kick from Andy Hawks, Luke Luddick, as we see Hawks off the ground and Chris Delaney to come on.
That's a fairly good change too. Delaney, when he's been on, for the amount of time he's been on the ground, he's been shown a fair bit of influence in the game too.
Well, Menzies has got Highland wide, but is he going to go there?
Use him.
Yes, he's got to use him, and he goes there now, takes the mark, good kick, and in the back pocket, Vilchens stands the mark.
Harris has got to be the target here if he moves quick enough. He had the opportunity there. Now he's going to have to go long,
and
it's going to be across the back.
Burke goes up with Edgar. Gann ripped off the footy. Scripted cute. Handball tremendous to Stewart. Can he pick it up, the big man? Oh, he's done very well to keep it in there. Timmy Gardner breaks away. Handball across half back to Evans. Short little kick to Nankervis. It's a battle of the walking wounded here. Nankervis against Morley. Nankervis wins out. Goes along to centre half forward. McFarlane chopping it off Bernardo, and has had a terrific second half.
Certainly has, Andy Bernardi. Good work there to, that looks like
Morley.
Justin Morley again.
Oh,
Big leap Matheson. Couldn't bring the leather down, though. The back of the packer players form. Gee, they're having a red-hot dip at the minute. Bodies going in hard and fast. Harris, that was good on Sears. Loose ball, sees now. Quick hands, Burton.
Yeah, good vision.
Delaney. Oh, great vision to Morley running down from half-back. Chips it over looking for Carl
good
Smith.
mark.
What's he doing down there, Smithy? Half-back flanker takes the ball in the forward pocket. Good overhead grab. And an opportunity here from a good 50 metres.
I think the difference at the moment between Werribee and Thompson, we see got Spicer's about to come onto the ground now. They're replacing players who haven't played too badly with fellas that have come off the bench and onto the bench a couple of times throughout the day and have caused problems when they have come on. As Richo comes onto the ground for...
and also they're not replacing injured players.
Wolfenden coming off, is it?
is he limping too, Stewie?
Oh, I
Wolfenden?
didn't notice.
I think Wolfenden might be limping.
I think Wolfenden might have a bit of a limp there, yeah.
Richardson comes on, kick from Smith. He's missed it to the far side. The goal umpire nearly falls over Andrew Atchison back there, one behind. So Thompson still hold the lead. They're 11-7-73. They lead Werribee 11-4-70 on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes in the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. Sears off, Spicer on for Werribee. Dale Menzies to do the kicking in once again for Thompson. And we've been playing 16 and a half minutes in this final term on the Bannockburn Sporting Trophies time clock. Menzies kicks to the outer side. It holds up in the breeze at 50. And good mark too. And has been taken by Andy Atchison. So Atchison...
This is where Thompson have fallen down in the first 10 minutes of this quarter. Is across the centre line and across the half forward or their half back.
Well, he's fallen down here too because he kicked it out of bounds on the full. But that's obviously a reason because they haven't had much to kick to across there. And the free kick is going to Justin Morley. In between wing and half forward. He's got Matheson on a lead. And Spicer as well. Darlow in the middle. Gets a hand to it. Comes out towards Carl Smith. He's got it on a string there, but he can't keep it in. As he just loses it. And it's going to be a boundary throw in 50 metres out from the Werribee goal. Getting a little bit dark and gloomy here at St Albans Reserve. So we're expected to have a few showers. Evans gets it down double-handed. Oh, that's holding the ball, I think. Yes, it is. And Dwayne Burton's dropped the footy. Going to be a free kick to Thompson. Christian Highland to take it. And even the Seagulls are having trouble with the wind here. Christian Highland at half-back for the Thompson Tigers. Hasn't got much to kick to, so he's holding it up. He's got Richardson short. Oh, it's going to be chopped off, though. Hit Richardson in the head. And it's out of bounds for a boundary thrown at half-forward. What would you do if you're in Thompson's situation, boys? What could you do? Try and stem the flow.
You just got to continue to attack and try and get the ball up there and kick goals. They proved it in the second quarter. As they
need some run, don't they, Stewie, across half-back?
I don't think they're going to. They're not going to win the game defending the lead they got at the moment. I think that if Werribee got the ball in there often enough, they're going to get the goals. I think even if Atchison was up somewhere around centre half-back where he normally plays, he does create so much run for them. And he doesn't mind carrying the ball either. He doesn't just sort of grab the ball and kick. He waits until he's got the right option to kick to, and if he hasn't got it, he's not scared to have a bounce. And they've got to take a risk or two now. I mean, they've got a few injured players out there, so I think the only way they're going to win this contest is take a couple of calculated risks and try and force a couple of goals rather than hope.
Richardson's gone to Gardner on the wing. He goes long. Gardner's back there again fighting hard against Scriptor Q. And it's now out of bounds just on the attacking side of centre wing for the Thompson Tigers. They lead 11-7, 73. Werribee are 11-4-70.
I think one thing, Pete, we have learned though over the last couple of years is you never write off Thompson. I mean, they'll fight right down to the end and they will work hard. Yeah,
that's true. I think the problem that they've got at the moment is that the guys that are carrying injuries for them are the guys that were setting them alight in the first half, and that's Gardner, Nankervis, Evans, Highland.
Yeah.
You know, and it's very dangerous.
Oh, great work. Smith out of the pack to Edgar. He gets it wide to Spicer. He's got Darlow in support. Spicer's got three options. Who's he going to go to? Well, he doesn't go to any of them, really, because Atchison comes across. Can't take the mark. Vilchins underneath the Heath Buck. Turns around, kicks it off the side of his boot. Luddick was in the goal square, but it's out of bounds. And it's going to be a penalty free kick to take Thompson out of the last line defence. McGann. And just rushing a little bit there, Werribee. Spicer probably had 5 or 6 more metres if Darlow had spoken to him. Could have run in a bit further. But that's the pressure of finals football. And Mick Gann in the last line defence to take the free kick for Thompson.
Lovely left foot kick, hugs the boundary line on the outer side of the ground. High flyers required. Richardson was up high before reception. Pack of players have formed at half forward. Left half forward, Werribee Central's into attack. Time check, Bannockburn Sporting Trophies, time clock, 20 and a half minutes gone of the final quarter. Margin 3 points. Apco Easy Shops. No, it's not. It's the Famous Pies and Cakes and Car Ranch final quarter.
Stewart was up high there. Morley in front of the pack. Oh, rides the tackle beautifully. Barry Delaney, handball. Oh, over Spicer's head. It comes in. All he has to do is put on the boot, and he misses. For 1 behind. So Luke Luddick, 1 goal, 2 for the day. And Werribee go to 11-5-71. Thompson are 11-7-73. It's 2 points of difference on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes in the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. And it's going to be kicked in by Dale Menzies. He once again goes to the outer side. Richardson in front. Atchison, good mark. And needs somebody across half-back or the wing to lead. Timmy Gardner's calling it long. He's just holding up. This is where they're getting caught. He goes now. Good kick into the breeze. Backwards there. Punched forward. The numbers with Werribee. Script to Edgar. Handball. Oh, to a standing start. Spicer. He gets it back though beautifully to the big man Stewart. He goes high towards Matheson and Smith. Oh, Smith worked hard to get in front there. In fact, it was against Vilchins. And Christian Smith will take the free kick in between fullback and centre halfback. Goes wide once again past Stewart. Edgar there and can't take the mark. Falls to the front of the pack and bottled up. Umpire Santa Spirito to come in and bounce it. 2 points of difference. 11-7 playing 11-5. Thompson in front.
I think what Thompson need to do, Stewie said before, is throw caution to the wind. I think they've got to run the ball up the middle of the ground with little short kicks and handballs and run it in a pack. Like get 10 or 12 guys and just pack run it up the middle of the ground. They only really need to score a goal and it'll be all over.
Well, Gardner has thrown it out of bounds and
all over.
Will we? I really believe if Thompson were to score a goal now with 5 minutes to go,
22-minute mark at the final quarter.
be all over.
thrown in. Evans, Stewart. Evans over the back of the pack. Rove, script to Q, gets it towards half forward. Gann runs away from Luddick. Oh, poor kick though. Back into the pack situation. Through the middle. Handball over the top towards Luddick, who's standing. Handball back to Delaney. Wants to get onto his left boot. Measure the pass to Edgar. Gardner coming at him. Robbie Edgar takes a very good mark.
See,
good grab.
It's allowed that to happen. Like they're just they're chipping it, pushing it back out to the defensive side all the time instead of throwing caution to the wind and coming up the guts.
Well, you'd want to run it from half back. You wouldn't want to kick. You'd want to run handball style, wouldn't you, from half back?
Well, I think the one thing that Werribee have been doing is exactly what Thompson should have been trying to do. Werribee I mean, it's a big ground in my sense that you've got to try and still create the space, but Werribee have put themselves in the right spots once Thompson have got the ball. They haven't allowed them to create that space, and the one reason, or the one way of trying to create it is if everybody on the ground moves. So all of a sudden you kick the ball to where somebody was standing with their opponent, but because you've taken him out of that area and opened up a space for him, and Werribee have done that with a wind, and I think they've got another goal out of it.
They have. Robbie Edgar put it up in the breeze and just let it float through for a goal. And Werribee Centrals have taken the lead through that Robbie Edgar goal. And they go to 12-5-77. Thompson 11-7-73. It's 4 points of difference on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes in the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. And I think we've been playing 23 and a half minutes.
And I'll just whisper
this final
to Ronnie,
term.
just a little whisper. Wouldn't surprise me, mate, if Werribee don't kick the next 3.
Ooh, well, there you are.
It's back in the centre. Stewart against Evans. Stewart goes up. Big thump away. Comes towards Matheson at centre half forward. Handball to Scriptor. Right foot kick around the corner. Spicer. He's got it. Handball over the top to Carl Smith. Off a standing start. Goes high with the right boot. He's through. He's kicked the goal. Look at him. He had the hands up before he got off the boot. And it's a goal to Carl Smith for his first. And Peter Walker, what are you talking about?
No, well, what I'm getting at is it doesn't matter whether it's Aussie rules, whether it's soccer, or whether it's rugby. Thompson have been defending for 25 minutes.
Yep.
And, the pressure's just got to them. They're chipping the ball out, and it just under so much pressure, it had to crack.
Well, Werribee 13-5-83. Thompson 11-7-73. It's 10 points of difference on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes and the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. And, Thompson need the next goal. It's as simple as that. They need to get this centre ruck and get the ball out of the midfield. And it's thrown up again. Stewart down again. This time Richardson gets a kick away. Morley keeps it in front of him. And again, just taps it towards himself and keeps it out there. Highland Runs from the centre, out towards the wing. Can he keep it in? He can't do so. He can't pick it up. Now he can. Now he gets held on to. Free kick. And Christian Highland, the assistant coach, will be taking the free.
Once again, this is the spot where they're breaking down. I mean, they've got players leading straight ahead rather than running sideways. And if you're not even going to get the ball yourself, at least you're opening a space for somebody else to lead into.
Goes up towards Timmy Gardner. It's over the back of the pack. Wrapped up, big pack. And umpire Neil will come in and bounce it. And look at, no wonder you're smiling, Ronnie. You're unbelievable. That's a 9 on the Richter scale, that is. Thrown up. Oh, you are a devil. Gee whiz. Oh, Stewart has got it.
I think he must have been into Mrs. Richo's homemade sausage rolls.
I think he must have been. Comes out the front, Withers, gets it towards back ball. And, free kick for a hold. It's going to Werribee. And Barry Delaney to take it at half back for the Centurions.
Hasn't he been good today?
He's been extremely good. And when needed in the third term, rose to the challenge and has in this final term. Matheson against Harris. They've had a good battle this afternoon as well. Comes to Scripter Q, right foot kick towards the boundary line. And Buck and Atchison can't keep it in. It's out of bounds for a throw in 55 metres around from the Werribee Central's goal.
So even this period now, we've got Menzies as a loose man in the back line. That's great if you've got a total on the board, but I think now, as we've already mentioned, I mean, they have got next week, so not that they're trying to save their season. They need to attack. They need to still work on something for next week's game, and I think Menzies should be up around the centre of the ground, perhaps, and be the option if they do win the ball. Don't look at it negatively if Werribee get it, we've got to stop them. They've got to win the game.
Well, Sean Stewart's got it from Dale Menzies' kick. He kicks it back into the forward line. Smith does well, then handball straight to Spicer. Handball over the top to Buck. He turns around on his left, and he's kicked his 6th. And, well, we said 6 goals for Heath Buck, and it may prove the difference. And Werribee's 14th goal, 14-5-89. They lead Thompson 11-7-73 on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes in the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. And, boys, that sustained pressure and attack in this final quarter is just finally told on Thompson.
I think it's just cracked wide open.
You're not a bad judge, Pete.
So it's 16 points the difference.
I think if we look at the area that we spoke about where they've fallen down across that half back line, across the centre line, with those injured players that we spoke about, Nankervis, Gardner, Evans, who's basically just rucked from the centre and then just stood there for the rest of the period. Obviously, that's where they're falling down, and we're being able to create some run.
Back in the centre, Stewart. Richardson roves beautifully. Tries to get it to Gardner, who can't pick it up. And it comes out towards Bradley. He's got a couple against him, though. Cunningham and Smith in front. Can he get it? No, he can't. Yes, he can at the second attempt. Gives it to Robbie Edgar, who's been fantastic. Gets it over the top to Scripter Q. Can he get around Humphrey? Yes, he does. He goes towards goal. He wants a bit of the glory himself.
He does.
Oh!
You little ripper!
It's only that goal there, boys, was created from the voice of Robbie Edgar. He was well behind the play, and there was the voice. The still ball still didn't come with him. He kept on continuing down in that attacking mode, and the voice eventually got him a kick, and it's set up a goal and the stripper would be glad for that. So as you run past stripper, make sure you give Robbie Edgar a good pat on the backside.
Well, Werribee 15-5-95, lead Thompson 11-7-79 on the Beaumont's... 73 in fact, sorry, on the Beaumont's Pies and Cakes in the Car Ranch final quarter scoreboard. So it's 22 points the difference on the final quarter scoreboard. In the centre again, Edgar tried to tap it towards Smith. Didn't get that far. Bradley handball to nobody in particular. Scripter Q to Delaney. He's out. That's Barry. Shepherded by his brother Chris. Goes around the corner towards Luddick. Gann taps it away. Good play. Then he got a trip, no free kick. Butters up again. Fresh air shot. Works back. Gets a high tackle. Oh, he worked hard for nothing there. Luddick over the top to Justin Morley. He runs through. He's at 55. Goes in towards Buck again and Atchison. Over the back, Matheson. Can he get it? No, he can't. Pushed away. Good play. Rick Humphrey. Spicer. Handball back. Atchison. In fact, it's Harris. He gives it back towards Spicer. Good wrap up. Humphrey dropping the ball. No free kick. Carl Smith close to the boundary line. And now it's out 10 metres around from the Centurions' goal.
Yeah, good pressure there from Rick Humphrey and the rubber man. I should say young Harris. And has forced the ball up. No, it's about to throw in now. It's about 10 metres out. We'll be doing all the attacking closing stages. Time check shows 29.5 minutes gone in the final quarter.
Jeez.
And Centurions now 22-point leaders in the qualifying final. Loose ball now at full forward. Sees Heath Buck tapping out to the direction of Morley. He was hotly dispossessed there by Harris. Kicks off the carpet from that player. Stewart, though, like a little rover, picks it up and gives it to Chris Delaney. He's kicked across to Edgar. couldn't quite hold it though, and mopping up well for the Tigers was Aaron Bradley. He goes very defensive and kicks it out to half back, but Bernardo's there and happy to see it over the line and out of bounds.
So boundary throw in front of the guest commentary box here on the wing half forward position, and
Wilson,
Evans,
Gardner just having a little look at the shoulder there.
Vilchins in front, double knock and a hold. It's two Vilchins, and 50. And Vilchins looking for 50. He's not going to get it. And he's got it at half forward, the big man. And Vilchins and Woofenden on, the injured Woofenden on for the injured Dan Curvis. And Vilchins goes to Morley. He goes long in front. Matheson. Oh, good mark. Christian Smith. Good mark. Handball to Atchison. He runs away short. Little kick to Mickey Gann.
Yeah, that's the type of play that they should have been doing 15, 20 minutes ago. They've got to take the risk, run the ball. They've lost during the quarter when they've tried to kick it long. They need to run it and get a bit of space.
He goes long, yeah, just like this to Stewart and Vilchins.
I tell you what, if I was coaching Thompson, I'd get number 23 and get him off the ground before he does something really, really stupid. They've got to remember this next week.
Well, Vilchins is having a look at the scoreboard and showing Ian Evans the scoreboard as well. And Vilchins goes long.
Matter of fact, I think if I was the Werribee coach, I think I'd take Brenton Wilson's off the ground also. There's nothing more to be gained from it.
Well, he doesn't want to sort of do anything silly here and be missing for the game next week against Bannockburn. And it's going to be a kick from Carl Smith, about 35 metres out. On the siren. And Brenton's waving
got some
goodbye.
fans over here in the crowd. He's
waving to all his fans. It's a kick from Carl Smith on the siren.
Thank you very much. One behind.
Good call, Stewie. One behind to Carl Smith to finish off the match. And Werribee have won 15-6, 19-6. Well, we've heard that Geelong have won also, which is good for us boys up here. Not so good for all my mates who are Carlton supporters. Gee, that's beyond. 15-6, 96 Werribee. Thompson are 11-7, 73 at full time. And in that final quarter, unfortunately, Thompson did not score. So that was what we were talking about across half back. Just couldn't quite get it. The run from half back to set up any goal scoring opportunities. And in that final term, Werribee Centrals kicked 7 goals, 5 to completely dominate the final term. And with a number of injured players, the side had Thompson. They did extremely well to keep going for as long as they did. The Werribee side actually didn't take the lead until about the 22-minute mark of the final term. The goal kickers for Werribee Centrals, 6 to Heath Buck, 2 each to David Matheson, Brenton Vilchins, and singles to Luke Luddick, Carl Smith, Peter Scripticue, Robbie Edgar and Craig Darlow. While for Thompson, 3 to Christian McFarlane, 2 each to Tim Gardner, Jamie Backwell and Craig Woofenden, singles to Terry Nankervis and Andrew Gardner. So that's the wash-up, 15-6, 96 Werribee. Thompson 11-7, 73. It's a 23-point win to the Werribee Central side, and they go into next weekend second semi-final against Bannockburn, while Thompson will play the winner of tomorrow's elimination final between Geelong West Cricket and Football Club and Anarchy. So that should be a great game as well. But boys, just before we give our 3, 2 and 1 for the guest video Beaumont's Pies and Cakes Player of the Day, they just unfortunately the Tommy Tigers, too many injuries, and that passage of play across half-back cost them in the final quarter, because they up until then they'd played nearly perfect footy.
Yeah, but a definite telling factor there was, the injuries did, and it wasn't just the injuries, as you said, it was Peter had mentioned, it was the injuries that the players received with the players who set up the good play in the first half, and it was across that centre line, the half forward line. Just one move that I thought was fantastic. Christian McFarlane, who was leading very well in the first half. I think Glenn Hype went back there. It took McFarlane out of the game, and with their players they had around the centre of the ground that were injured and were falling down a little bit, the one person who probably stood hope with them once Cowan went off was McFarlane. There was a lot of responsibility left on his shoulders, and unfortunately for Christian, they couldn't get the ball up there often enough. When they did, Hyde brought it to the ground, and that's where the Werribee players ran away from the injured Thompson boys.
Yeah, when you look through the Thompson side, Pete, as Stewie said, it's pretty tough when Terry Nankervis, Timmy Gardner and Ian Evans, your ruckman running around with, on one leg or running around with injuries. And it didn't help when Mark Cowan went off the ground as well, because he's kicked 3 behinds today, but he's just a focal point in the forward line, isn't he?
Yeah, I think it makes it very hard. I thought the biggest loss for the Thompson side was Terry Nankervis. In the first half, he was probably their best player, as was the contest in the ruck area, and Timmy Gardner too. That he was obviously playing under a bit of cloud after half time. It was interesting though that no doubt the boys will take into effect the way that Highland and Gardner play together, and I think that will be telling in the next couple of weeks. It'll be good to watch.
Well, we talked about Thompson Werribee, fantastic final term, 7 goals, 5, but it just felt some stages through the match that we were just waiting for him to do that. We were just waiting for either the second term or the final term for them to just really get on top. But to Thompson's credit, it took 22 minutes into the final term for him to take the lead.
Yeah, but I think that falls back on the. I don't normally do this, Ronnie. I'm normally very level-headed when it comes to this, but I think that fell back on Thompson's coaching staff. I thought they never made the changes to go when they should have gone forward. They just sat back and said, we're still in front, we'll defend, we're still in front, we'll defend, we're still in front, we'll defend. And by the time they were ready to activate something, Werribee, as I predicted, went bang, 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 and they've won by 4 goals, when in fact the scoreline doesn't actually give a true indication of the game.
Yeah, the final score, Werribee 15-6-96 have defeated Thompson 11-7-73. Stewie, you're still working on the 3-2-1 up there, are you, mate? You're right, are you? All right, well, Stewie can give his 3-2-1 for the guest video Beaumont's Pies and Cakes Player of the Day.
Unfortunately, I couldn't fit anyone in from Thompson, more so because there wasn't the 4-quarter consistency or 3-quarter. It was sort of played in halves. But we'll make a special a couple of mentions. Timmy Gardner, I thought, battled against the odds throughout the course of the day. I think up until half-time, if I can find right, Christian Highland, I thought, was played very well, and especially, as I said, in the first half. And also Aaron Bradley, I thought, played fairly consistently without being brilliant all day, but he was always thereabouts. But with the Werribee boys, again, there's probably going to be players that probably played 3 out of the 4. I don't think that Werribee really had a consistent 4-quarter contributor who beat his opponent all day. More so once Evans got injured. I've given my 1 vote to Stewart. I thought his work around the ground, especially in the centre there, and unfortunately for Thompson, a few of their players got injured and they couldn't start rucking off him. But it was more so once Evans was injured. 6 goals, on a windy day like today. I think he might have got 6-1 or 6-2 or maybe one on the full.
6 straight and one on the full.
6 straight and one on the full. I've given Heath Buck 2 votes. As I've mentioned earlier, he doesn't need a lot of opportunities to score his goal. I mean, there's times there he's kicked 9 and 10 throughout the year and probably had 11 or 12 kicks, and they've probably only come off 12 or 13 opportunities to actually win the contest of the ball. And the player I thought who really got Werribee going, especially during that 3rd quarter. He was service from the 1st quarter, got better as the game wore on, but the 3rd quarter where it really broke open, and Werribee gave themselves a chance to get back in the contest, I thought, was Barry Delaney, and he continued that on in the last quarter, and went with the injured players. It obviously made his job a little bit easier for him, but he just kept on sending the ball into the forward line and giving the Werribee players every chance to kick a winning score.
So Barry Delaney, Heath Buck and Sean Stewart. Stuart Scott's 3-2-1 this afternoon. Pete?
Yeah, I'm not as hard on the Thompson players, because I thought, 22-minute mark of the last quarter, we've got to give at least one of them a bit of a look in there. I gave 1 vote to Rick Humphrey. I thought he did use his head. He did drop into the hole, and really Werribee's game could have been a lot better had it not been for his reading of the play. I thought he played very well for Thompson and was their best player. For my 2 vote, I kind of split that. I can't do that, I know that, but between Edgar and Delaney, and I ended up giving Delaney the nod there. I gave him the 2 votes. I thought he did play some very good footy. He's a fairly gutsy player, and that was evident on Monday night with the vote count. And the 3, as I said, Evans did play well, but I thought the guy that did contribute for the whole of the game was his opposition in Sean Stewart, and I thought he was my best on the ground.
So Sean Stewart, Barry Delaney and Rick Humphrey for Peter Walker. Ronnie, your 3-2-1.
Robbie Edgar, 1 vote, mainly last half. Just put out Timmy Gardner. Apologies, Tim. I thought Tim or Aaron Bradley was probably Thompson's better players. And, Robbie's come out of the winning side. He's got the nod from me because he set it up in that last quarter. Barry Delaney, great leaders game, terrific, but can't beat 6 goals, mate. 6 goals straight. I think you'll know, gentlemen, ladies. those bald-headed babies out there. 6 straight. Heath Buck, I owe you one, boy. And today you've got 3 votes from our brain.
So, Heath Buck, Barry Delaney and Robbie Edgar, the 3-2 and 1. 3-2 and 1.
Obviously thought they played ripper games there, Ronnie.
Gee, there's some cracks starting to open up in the commentary box. I'll give you the tip. Heath Buck, Barry Delaney and Robert Edgar, the 3-2 and 1 for Rommel. I apologise to Heath Buck. I know he kicked 6 goals and probably proved the difference between the two sides, but I couldn't fit him in. And I apologise to Sean Stewart as well. I gave 1 vote to Rick Humphrey as well. I thought that when he played in defence as a loose man, I thought he did use his head extremely well and really put himself in front of some big and tallest players, Brenton Vilchins and David Matheson. And I thought his game was fairly consistent for the Tommy Tigers. I gave 2 votes to Barry Delaney, as already has been spoken. Barry's the Whitley medalist, and I think he showed some of the form this afternoon. He and Tim Gardner are deserved Whitley medalists because they both put in a fantastic effort this afternoon. Timmy just a little bit unlucky not to get a vote from me as well. And I thought Robbie Edgar was the best on ground. I thought even in the first half when Thompson were on top in the middle, I thought he still got a bit of the footy and set up a few things. And in that second half, he and Barry Delaney were the two people wwho were different. The differences between the Werribee Central side and Thompson. So I've given him my 3 votes.
While Ronnie's calculating those up, I noticed that he has been very active today, our Mr. Brain, and it's fairly obvious tonight that the celebration drinks for his 44th birthday. We now know, if you watch the Rugby League footy show on Thursday night, we now know how he'll be blowing the candles out of his cake.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's been rotten this afternoon. He's going to be absolutely chronic tonight, I'll tell you.
You can't say that.
Unbelievable.
Just don't sit in the cake, Ronnie.
Okay. Well, after all that frivolity, the upshot of the situation is with 9 votes, Barry Delaney, congratulations, Bazza, voted best on ground here this afternoon by these wise men up here in the box. 5 votes, Heath Buck, you'll get the 2 votes. I tried for you, Bucky. 4 votes, we've got Robbie Edgar and Sean Stewart, and on 2 votes, Rick Humphreys. So,
well, I think because Sean Stewart got 3 votes, he probably should win it, I suppose.
Thank you very much. So the 3-2-1 goes Barry Delaney from Werribee Centrals. 2 votes goes to Heath Buck. And the 1 vote to Sean Stewart.
And that just proves that Stewie knows what he's talking about up here, and we have absolutely no idea because he's picked the 3-2-1. He's picked Delaney, Buck and Stewart.
That's unbelievable.
Why do you
might
think
win
he's
tomorrow.
Why do you think he's a coach?
Yeah, that's why he's a coach. Well,
That's why I'm out there, Ronnie, and you're up here, mate.
at 3-2-1 this afternoon, Barry Delaney, Heath Buck and Sean Stewart. 15-6-96, Werribee have defeated Thompson 11-7-73 by 23 points to book a place in next week's second semi-final against Bannockburn, while the Thompson side will play the winner of tomorrow's game between Geelong West Cricket and Football Club and Anarchy. Good luck tomorrow, Stewie.
Thank you, Jason.
And what are you praying for, rain or good weather?
Oh,
it doesn't matter, really. It doesn't matter. Well,
a little less wind.
We'd prefer to be playing up in Queensland on a beautiful day. All the rest, we'll take whatever weather comes.
Well, I've heard we might be going to Southport for our interleague game next year, so you might be right. So. Pete?
Well, I thought we might have had it over in Tasmania where Russell was trying to get you. There might have been some promotional.
Yeah, Ron, did you hear we're going on the West Footy trip? We've been booked. Anyway, that's another story. Pete, have a nice time tomorrow at Richmond and North Melbourne at the G.
I will. I'll be sitting in one of those square little cubicles up there just...
Yes,
on a rest.
Where Ronnie should have been sitting all day.
Sitting in the toilet all day at the G. That'll be
very
better.
nice indeed.
Ron, have a smelly night tonight.
I will have a very good one.
See you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
And
happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
It's been a pleasure.
44. Geez, if I look like that when I'm 44, I'd rather be dead. But anyway, that doesn't matter.
Ronnie is.
Werribee big winners this afternoon after a pretty good effort from Thompson for 3.5 quarters, and Werribee have run over the top by 23 points. Thank you to Brett Rovier, and we'll see you next time on Guest Video. Werribee big winners in the qualifying final this afternoon.